Hello everyone, I'm Charlie Dawn and welcome to my library. Oh, that's not my theme tune. Today's video is the newbie booktuber tag, or the booktuber newbie tag. The one that you do when you're new, and I am new. I've done a few videos, but I am still new, so. I was not tagged by anybody, but I am assuming that if you are new, then you are welcome to do it. Also, look how sweet these are. Don't know if you can see them. There's a list of 10 questions, so I'm just gonna bosh through them. The first question is, why did you start this channel? The answer to that question is, I started this channel because I watched Booktube for a couple of years now and I love the videos, I love reading and I love to talk about books. I tend to bore my friends and family with tales of books they have not read, so instead I wanted to bore the internet with books that they may have read. Also because I just think it's a really fun outlet and I'm an actor and writer, so those things kind of, I think, meet in the middle. A little bit of filming, a little bit of book stuff. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? Listen, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. I just want to talk about books. I'm not a serious person. I like to talk about books in a way that we can laugh about. I say we, it might just be me. And my mum said that I was good, so I'll see where it takes me, to be honest. At the moment, I'm pretty happy doing, like, you know, your classics, your TBRs, your hauls and such. But we'll see, maybe we'll go all, you know, read with Cindy, get some character work into this. Number 3, what are you most excited about for this channel? I'm excited to learn some new things, like editing things. I never edited anything really before, so that's been quite fun on my little MacBook. But I'm excited to find people who like the same books that I do and also watch some new booktubers, because I have like my set ones that I always go back to, but I like to find more. So if you're new as well, put it in the little comments and I'll have a little watch. Number 4, why do you love reading? I don't. I love reading because I'm very dramatic. A lot of the time books are very dramatic and I get to live out my dramatic fantasy and gasp at the horrors of things. I read a book and I feel as though I'm the character. No matter what character, I feel like I'm all the characters. So if something bad happens, like for example, I read a book in bed last night and somebody was cheated on and I was like raging. How dare you do this to me, to them, to us. It feels very personal. I just love reading because it's absolutely magical and dramatic, and also as a writer I love reading because you can't be a good writer if you don't read a lot. That's facts. Number 5, I feel like I'm whizzing through these. This is going to be a 5-minute video. I always think that, and then I'm 20 minutes later and I'm thinking, wow, sorry. Number 5, what book/book series got you into reading? Jacqueline Wilson. Who else? I know there is another person who got a lot of other people into reading. You know, that woman. But I actually never read the Harry Potter series. Who's laughing now? Jacqueline Wilson, I started reading her books in year 4, I would say, so when I was like 8 or 9, and those were like the first proper books that I'd read, like without pictures basically. But before that, in year 3, I remember I read these books called The Rainbow Fairies. I think they're still going. I mean, how many colours are there? I know now they've moved on. There's like Pippa the Puppy Dog Fairy. I saw one and it was, what was it called? Don't quote me. It was called like Rihanna the Royal Babysitter Fairy. Look, when there's a royal baby coming along, make your money from it. I don't blame you. But I remember there were 7 of them at the time, you know, the 7 main colours. I don't know, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. Roy Gabiv, that's how I remember it, but I don't actually. Red, orange, yellow, Good Biv. Violet. Biv. Indigo Violet. Whew. That acronym is not as easy as I thought it would be to run. But the Rainbow Fairy books, and for some reason I decided to read them backwards, as in I read the last book first and the 6th book second. I thought it was quirky. My teacher never realised I was doing this, because obviously, why would she? And so my comprehension was not great when she said, what's the book about? And I'd be like, well, I know the ending. Strange child. But Jacqueline Wilson, she got me into like reading, where I couldn't put it down reading. And then I moved on to Kathy Cassidy. Oh my God, I loved her so much. Kathy Cassidy is a bit like Jacqueline Wilson. Sometimes darker, sometimes not. In year 6, I read a book called Scarlet that actually changed my life. I thought I was Scarlet. Scarlet had a stepmom called Claire, and I have a stepmom called Claire. Other than that, we are absolutely, completely different. I even wrote a poem about the book Scarlet, and I sent it to Kathy Cassidy, and I got an email back saying she liked it. I actually sent her a few emails back and forth throughout the years, and she always replied, and I've since been told that it might have been like her assistant. I choose to believe it was Kathy. I know it was Kathy. Number 6, what questions would you ask your favourite booktubers? Like personal questions? Or booktube questions? I would ask Hayley in Bookland how her hair always looks so good. Okay, so my top 3 people that I always watch are A Clockwork Reader, so Hannah and Hayley in Bookland, and Read with Cindy. I mean loads more, but those are probably my top 3 favourites. So I would say, how do you come up with consistent content? Do you plan it months in advance? I think Hayley said this before, that she does plan it quite far ahead. I've been trying to do 2 videos in a day, but I'm having issues today because the sun went down. I didn't expect that, and there was no light, and then I've got this it's a mirror that has a ring light, and I'm using that as a light. Don't think it's working, and I think it's flickering, so this might not even ever get uploaded because of the technical issues. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be? I think this is written down wrong. I mean, I wrote it down, so maybe I wrote it down wrong. Basically, what challenge will be the hardest to overcome? I really thought about this one, and honestly, I really think the fame. Number 8, when did you start reading? Oh, I think I already answered this. Oopsie. In year 4. Properly in year 4. I actually had a bit of a hiatus from year 7 to about year 9, because in year 7 and 8 we had these library lessons that were horrendous, awful. There was reading challenges, which not as fun as it sounds. We had this teacher who would only let us read certain things. You weren't allowed to read Jacqueline Wilson, you weren't allowed to read Kathy Cassidy. Banned from my faves. The idea was that you read a lot of different things, which I get, but if you literally ban a child from reading something, maybe they just lose interest in reading. And I remember my mum saying, "You used to love reading, now look at you." And I was like, look at me now, Dawn. As soon as I finished those library lessons, I picked up a book and I was like, peace. So I see what they were trying to do there, and I bet for a lot of kids it did get them to read because they were forced to, but for me, I already wanted to read and I knew what I wanted to read, and they were like, those books aren't good books, and I thought, well, that's just your opinion. Question 9, where do you read? Why is somebody using a power drill in the evening? I read in bed, I read on the sofa, mostly, to be honest, probably on the sofa. I read on the bus when I have an audiobook. Oh, I listen to audiobooks when I make my lunch, so in the kitchen. If I'm cleaning anywhere, so if I clean the bathroom, the kitchen, anywhere, I listen. A lot of places, really. Wherever I can. Number 10, what kind of books do you like to read? I love to read fantasy. I read a lot of fantasy. I went through a phase of reading a lot of YA contemporary. Kind of burnt myself out with that one. At the minute, I'm reading a lot of adult contemporary fiction. I've read a few witchy books recently. I don't tend to read non-fiction unless it's like I've just bought that Women Don't Owe You Pretty by Florence Given, and I'm like, It's not a self-help book, it's like I'll read it and let you know what it is, because at the moment I'm unsure. Mostly fiction, fantasy. I'm not massively into romance. I like romance if it's in a story. Obviously it's in a story. I like romance if it's in a fantasy novel or if it's in a contemporary, but I don't think I necessarily would want to read just like the story is just a romance. I could go without, to be honest. But then when I do read like the romance, I'm like, oh, swoon. But I get far too invested, so I feel their feelings. So if something bad happens, I can't cope with it. Especially if it's romantic, I'm like, oh, you pig. If they've done something, if they've done something bad. That's how I felt last night reading that book. And I've read that book before, so I knew it was coming, and I was reading the pages like, you pig, you rat. Has anyone seen that video where it's the elders react to Beyonce's Lemonade, and he goes, Beyonce, baby, with that Jay-Z rat, she's too good for him. That's how I feel whenever I read books and the man is treating the woman badly. Oh, I finished. Okay, well that was that. I think that was so short. I bet it won't be. I bet it's like half an hour. I bet it is. Thank you to nobody for tagging me in this, just kidding. I tag anyone that wants to do the newbie tag. If you liked this video, give it a little like, if you like. If you're a newbie as well, comment down your YouTube channel and we can all have a little look and whatnot. And you can subscribe to this channel if you want, if you fancy it. We'd love to have you. Thank you for watching my booktuber newbie tag, and I hope to see you next time in my library. Oh, you don't tip it too far back and you...